There is a silent test that your soul performs every single day without you uttering a single word. And the answer to this test reveals whether your future will be built upon opulence or upon constant deprivation. Dr. Joseph Murphy dedicated more than 4 decades of practical and spiritual studies to unraveling the mysteries of the deep mind. He realized that thousands of people spend their entire lives attending churches, reading self-philosophy books, and working to physical exhaustion without ever achieving financial stability. The reason for this invisible barrier is not in the job market, the country's economy, or a lack of luck. It is in a hidden code that your conscious mind emits every second to infinite intelligence. Most of humanity lives in a waking state marked by contradiction. During the day, they claim they want success, repeat ready-made phrases of prosperity, and try to convince others that they are confident. However, the instant the bedroom door closes and the noises of the world go quiet, the real pattern of the deep mind comes to light. If, upon closing your eyes, you feel a tightness in your chest at the thought of tomorrow, if your mind begins listing deadlines, debts, and impossibilities, your internal structure is emitting an unmistakable signal of rejection to wealth. The subconscious does not read the superficial words you pronounce with your mouth. It reads exclusively the frequency of your innermost feeling in the hour of recollection. Understand how this hidden mechanism that Dr. Murphy revealed to the world works. Your subconscious mind is a perfect mathematical matrix, entirely devoid of moral judgment or preferences. It functions exactly like the fertile soil of the earth. If a farmer goes to the field and deposits a belladonna seed into the ground, a highly poisonous plant, the earth does not refuse to germinate that seed just because it will cause pain. The earth simply takes nutrients from the invisible and manifests the plant in physical reality. In the same way, if the farmer plants a seed of fertile wheat, the soil delivers rich and abundant nourishment. Your conscious mind is that daily farmer. Every thought charged with emotion, every worry cultivated in silence, and every image of limitation is a seed cast into the depths of your being. When you try to attract money while carrying the fear of scarcity in your soul, you are trying to reap sweet fruits after having sown roots of poison. The subconscious obeys the dominant law of your conviction. If the feeling of lack is stronger than your hope of gain, infinite intelligence will move material circumstances to ensure that lack remains your tangible reality. Edward Sterling was 47 years old when he found himself on the verge of total collapse in Philadelphia in the year 1953. He was a dedicated real estate broker, a man of simple habits who worked 14 hours a day trying to support his wife and 2 young children. However, the more he exerted himself physically, the more deals seemed to slip through his hands at the very last second. His nights became a silent torment. Edward would lie on the soft mattress of his bed and spend hours staring at the dark ceiling of the room, while the soft sound of his breathing mixed with the dull dread of overdue mortgages. He felt cold sweat on the palms of his hands when remembering the cold mahogany drawer of his office, where he accumulated collection notices he had no way to pay. Determined to seek an answer that went beyond physical effort, Edward attended one of Dr. Joseph Murphy's lectures on the laws of the deep mind. That night, Murphy declared a truth that pierced through the broker's armor of despair. Your subconscious only accepts the readiness of prosperity when your spirit stops reacting to the symptoms of lack. Edward realized that although he spoke about abundance during work hours, his deep mind spent entire nights vibrating in the panic of bankruptcy. He was training his subconscious to be a debt magnet. Following Dr. Murphy's guidance, Edward completely halted his war against material circumstances and adopted a new discipline of nightly reprogramming. He began applying the method we call here on the channel the test of supreme conviction. Every night, before surrendering his body to rest, he would sit in an armchair, turn off all the lights in the room, and reduce all his anxiety to a state of physical stillness. He refused to visualize failed contracts or clients who had given up. Instead, Edward closed his eyes and contemplated the inner vision of himself walking through his home with his spirit fully at peace. He did not ask for exact amounts of money and did not beg for financial miracles. He merely repeated softly, like a soothing whisper to his own soul, a single sentence: "God's abundance supplies me now." He felt the vibration of this truth descend from the top of his head to the soles of his feet. dissolving the frozen knot of anguish in his chest. In less than 5 weeks of continuous practice, without missing a single night, a hotel entrepreneur who had never set foot in the city walked into Edward's office. Through a path completely outside the conventional pattern, this investor hired Edward to broker the acquisition of a large industrial property. The commission from that single transaction not only paid off all the mortgages accumulated over years, but secured the Sterling family's financial stability for decades. Edward did not change his harvest by fighting with the earth. He passed the divine test the moment he cleansed the frequency of his deep mind and prepared it to receive the wealth that already existed in the invisible. Say this out loud, or repeat it silently in your heart. My deep mind is open and ready for God's wealth. The great key that Dr. Joseph Murphy revealed to humanity lies in the understanding that prosperity will never be an external event. It is a vibrational state of consciousness that must be established first in the invisible of your soul. Most people live under the spell of the physical senses. They look at a negative bank balance and say, I am poor. They look at the accumulated bills on the table and declare, there is no way out. In doing so, they are using the supreme power of word and feeling to decree their own material imprisonment. Your subconscious accepts what you feel is truth without questioning the source of the information. If you give absolute value to the appearances of scarcity in the present moment, you force your deep mind to keep projecting that exact same scarcity onto the pages of your tomorrow. For your mind to be truly ready for prosperity, you must learn the spiritual art of closing the body's eyes to temporary lack while opening the spirit's eyes to the inexhaustible bounty of infinite intelligence. When you begin to look at obstacles not as final sentences, but as mere transient shadows that dissolve before the light of your faith, your mental structure reconfigures itself. It is in this inner shift that the spiritual law of attraction ceases to be an abstract theory and becomes a tangible force in your daily life. If this teaching is resonating in the depths of your consciousness and bringing the clarity you so sought for your spirit, subscribe right now to the Subconscious Code channel and turn on the notification bell. Unite your energy with our community of awakened minds and receive daily the nourishment that will reprogram your reality. Sacred scripture preserved this maximum law encoded in the words of the prophet Isaiah when he wrote, "You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you." Observe the scientific teaching kept in this ancient passage. Spiritual peace and the resulting stability of physical life are not granted to those who live in the turmoil of doubt and anxiety. They are the unalterable promise for the mind that remains steadfast. Keeping your mind stayed on infinite intelligence means refusing to accept that evil, poverty, or failure have the final word over your destiny. It means keeping your attention fixed on the abundant source, knowing that all visible things were created from the invisible dimension of the spirit. At the exact moment you stabilize your conscious mind and decline the invitation of fear, your subconscious understands that the fight is over. It accepts the signal of peace and security as an absolute commandment. From that instant on, the healing and prospering presence begins to reorganize matter, opening doors where there were only walls and bringing the necessary resources for the consolidation of your victory. Say this out loud or repeat it silently in your heart. Divine peace governs my mind and opens my paths. The hidden mechanism that governs your financial and spiritual destiny does not rest for a single second, and it responds strictly to the secret code you accept as absolute truth in the depths of your soul. When Dr. Joseph Murphy dedicated his life to mapping the mechanics of the human mind, he discovered that the universe is not governed by chance, favoritism, or a cruel fate. There is an unalterable principle that sustains the entire structure of our material existence, the supreme pillar of the law of belief. Everything that you believe with feeling and conviction in your subconscious mind becomes your visible reality. Most people spend their entire lives making a tragic mistake that locks the doors of wealth. They try to change the harvest of life without ever changing the mental seed. They spend entire days complaining about scarcity, feeding feelings of rejection, dwelling on past injustices, and focusing on negative bank statements, only to close their eyes at night, expecting tomorrow to bring a miracle. This is a spiritual impossibility. Your subconscious is a perfect mathematical matrix. It will never deliver a single cent of prosperity to you if the code printed in your deep mind is the frequency of dread and lack. To understand how this mechanic works in your routine, visualize your deep mind under the metaphor of a great movie projector. The physical world you see around you, your bank account, your job, your physical body, and your relationships, is nothing more than the image projected on the great screen of your existence. The tragedy of humanity is trying to run to the movie screen to tear, paint, or alter the image by force. People fight with matter, wear down their health, and live in a constant state of exhaustion trying to change external effects. However, the lens of the projector, the invisible film roll that determines every manifested scene, is located in the silent sanctuary of your subconscious mind. The moment you sit in the dark room of your being, slow down the waves of your consciousness, and alter the internal tape through silence, the image on the external screen is forced to change instantly. Matter is passive. Matter has no creative power of its own. It is merely the moldable shadow of the thoughts and feelings you have cultivated in the secret of your spirit. When you learn to withdraw your attention from lack and fix your consciousness on the opulence of the divine presence, the projector of your mind halts the exhibition of scarcity dramas and begins manifesting scenes of continuous abundance. Say this out loud or repeat it silently in your heart. The projector of my mind reflects only God's wealth. Dispel right now one of the greatest and most harmful lies that have been grafted onto human consciousness across the centuries: the erroneous belief that poverty possesses any spiritual value. Many people were taught to believe that financial limitation is a test of virtue that pleases the Creator, or that enduring economic deprivation purifies the soul. Dr. Joseph Murphy dismantled this lie with devastating clarity. Poverty is not a spiritual virtue. Poverty is a severe disease of the human mind. The infinite intelligence that architected the universe knows no lack. Look at nature around you without the veils of fear. A single tree produces thousands of fruits and seeds. The stars in the firmament are countless. The oceans overflow with life and abundance. The entire creation is an incessant chant of bounty and constructive luxury. Therefore, when you accept financial limitation as something inevitable or normal, you are disconnecting yourself from your own divine origin. Money is not an evil in itself. Money is a neutral energy, a symbol of divine opulence circulating on earth. Desiring it with wisdom, multiplying it with joy, and using it for the expansion of good is your sacred birthright. Scarcity only remains in your life as long as you continue feeding the flame of pain with the fuel of your anxious attention. When you cease the fight against lack and retreat into the silence of the spirit, misery collapses due to lack of mental sustenance. To help his students test the readiness of their mind and reach this state of liberation, definitively, Dr. Joseph Murphy taught a practical discipline we named on the channel the alignment of supreme stillness. This method consists of completely withdrawing your mind from physical senses before any financial decision is made, or at the exact instant anxiety threatens to invade your chest. Instead of reacting with dread before bad news, an unexpected bill, or an obstacle in your business, you must close your eyes for 3 minutes and visualize that an infinite ocean of supply exists just beneath the agitated surface of your emotions. By practicing the alignment of supreme stillness, you interrupt the automatic circuit of fear in your nervous system and prevent the belief in scarcity from taking root in your deep mind. You assume the posture of a conscious observer, knowing that infinite intelligence already possesses the perfect solution and the exact wealth to resolve any human impasse before it even appears in the visible world. It was precisely by applying this silent alignment that men and women over decades reversed, declared bankruptcies, restored shattered homes, and achieved financial miracles that common logic considered impossible. They understood that the silence of the mind is not passivity, but the purest and most concentrated form of mental power a human being can exercise. Say this out loud, or repeat it silently in your heart. I surrender my mind to the unwavering flow of peace. If this understanding is bringing light to your consciousness and unlocking the bonds of your spirit, be sure to subscribe to the Subconscious Code channel and turn on the notification bell. Do not allow this truth to get lost in the noise of your day. Become part of our community of awakened minds and receive daily the nourishment that will reprogram your reality. Always remember that your subconscious is infinitely faithful to the command it receives from your conscious mind in the hour of silence. When the day ends and you retreat to your bed, the portal to your invisible world swings wide open. It is at that moment that blind faith must give way to spiritual science. You do not need to beg for a prosperous tomorrow. You do not need to cry for divine pity. And you do not need to plead for help as if you were an abandoned orphan in the universe. All you need is to claim your inheritance of wealth with the unwavering serenity of one who knows that the cause of all reality dwells within themselves. The stillness of your soul is the most powerful weapon in the universe. It dissolves the blockages of lack, annuls decrees of fear, and opens the doors of heaven so that prosperity, health, and infinite wealth flow into your life in an uninterrupted, natural, and glorious manner. Scientific prayer is not a desperate plea cast into the void, nor a painful supplication made to a distant God. It is the conscious and systematic attunement with the divine law that already dwells in the depths of your being. When you understand that the answer to your desire precedes the very formulation of your pain, the entire structure of your mind transforms. Dr. Joseph Murphy repeatedly insisted that to pray is to claim in the invisible that which you wish to see manifested in the visible. The subconscious mind does not respond to the intensity of your tears or the drama of your lamentations. It responds with mathematical precision to the quality of your inner belief and the firmness of your feeling in the hour of stillness. Close the eyes of your physical body for a moment and open the eyes of your spirit. Let the noise of worries, upcoming deadlines, bills to pay, and world diagnoses dissolve completely right now. Take a deep breath and feel the healing and abundant presence flow through your consciousness. From this instant, we surrender our entire being to the infinite intelligence that dwells in the silent sanctuary of the soul. The divine presence that created my body, that sustains the visible and invisible worlds and governs the universe in perfect order, is the only source of all my supply, my peace, and my wealth. I know with absolute conviction and crystal clarity that my subconscious mind is God's fertile soil within me. Every seed of opulence, prosperity, health, harmony, serenity, and abundance that I now deposit in my deep mind germinates in perfect order and beauty in my material reality. I completely forgive my past and everyone involved in it. I now release all memories of scarcity, all accumulated bitterness, financial frustrations, and all old beliefs of limitation that once imprisoned my soul. Resentment dissolves completely in the ocean of divine love. My soul is clean, serene, in absolute stillness, and open to receive the uninterrupted flow of all blessings. Infinite intelligence opens pathways where before there were only locked doors. Money and prosperity flow into my life constantly, freely, harmoniously, and abundantly, always serving as instruments of joy, expansion, well-being, and liberation. Perfect health dwells in every cell, every organ, every tissue, and every system of my physical body. Divine order governs sovereignly over my business, my home, my mind, and all my relationships. I do not fight against external circumstances, and I do not spend my energy combating matter. I sit in the stillness of my soul and contemplate my victory in advance. I give thanks from the bottom of my heart, because I know that my request has already been answered in the dimension of the invisible and now manifests gloriously in my visible world. And so it is. Say this out loud, or repeat it silently in your heart. Infinite intelligence now performs the miracle of my transformation. The constant reiteration of spiritual truth is the master key to the deep reprogramming of your existence. When you mentally repeat the reality of your inner power, you smooth out the grooves of fear and lack that were carved into your brain by years of negative conditioning. Scarcity only possesses the strength that your mental noise grants it. The moment you collect your conscious mind, refuse to accept the diagnoses of limitation, and nestle into the stillness of the spirit, all chains of financial anxiety break like straw in the wind. Inner calm is the place where the greatest riches of human life are born. Understand your true nature. You are not a fragile victim of market circumstances, nor a boat adrift on the stormy ocean of material uncertainties. You are the direct heir of infinite intelligence, endowed with the supreme and inalienable power to shape your reality through the law of belief and inner opulence. All the abundance of the universe belongs to you by right of creation, waiting only for your mind to quiet down to accept and claim it in the secret of your heart. When night arrives and silence settles over your room, prepare to execute your most sacred moment of the day. Lie down comfortably, turn off the noise of the external environment, put away electronic devices, and close your eyes with serenity. Do not review debts. Do not bring worries about tomorrow's bills to bed, and do not feed doubts about your future. The day has ended, and the physical world will rest. Gently place your right hand over the center of your chest. Feel your heartbeat slow down, and feel your breathing become deep and rhythmic. Repeat just 2 words like a lullaby for your deep mind: wealth, success. Let your subconscious absorb the vibration of these words as you drift peacefully off to sleep, allowing God's wisdom to work on rebuilding your life and opening your sources of wealth during the hours of your rest. If this message touched your heart and brought the light of clarity to your soul, leave your like on this video and subscribe to the Subconscious Code channel. By subscribing, you unite your energy with our community of awakened minds, strengthening the great chain of enlightenment, peace, and prosperity. Also, leave your affirmation of victory in the comments to seal this commitment with the universe. May the peace of God continue governing your mind and abundantly blessing every step of your journey.